Hi, Dr. Mandy Marzier here with Vital Family Chiropractic, located in Lafayette, Colorado. I'm going to go through a breakdown of the deep squat. Now, if you took my recent talk, you remember that I said that, remember your pelvic floor gets tight and weak. A lot of times this triangular bone here in the back at the base of your spine, it's called your sacrum, gets tucked in. Part of that is from our bad sitting posture. Part of that is from the joint being out of alignment. Part of that is muscle that is unopposed. So the sacrum gets pulled in, the pelvic floor muscular is really tight, and then these muscles here, your booty muscles, your glutes, are not working, they're not turned on, so they aren't able to oppose the motion of the sacrum. So the muscle needs another muscle on the other end of the bone to oppose that motion. So that's how that pelvic floor gets tight, that's the short version, and weak. So what we can do, the best way to work on your glute strength is the deep squat. It's better than a Kegel. As I mentioned in my talk, a Kegel is going to tighten already tight parts of your pelvic floor, but there's also parts of your pelvic floor that are not turned on and communicating with your brain, so not working, and the Kegel's not gonna touch that at all. So it's actually just gonna make a problem worse over the long run. So for the deep squat, I just wanna say that to get a perfect deep squat, could take a year or two, especially in our culture. We've been spending a lot of time sitting, walking around in high heels, things like that. So what we want to do is make the proper modifications and work up to it, and we never want to sacrifice form. So your form is most important, and I will go over that. So first you're going to take a rolled up yoga mat. You can do this if you have a little foam roller half dome, or something else to stretch your calves. We're going to start by stretching the calves, which should feel really good, especially if we've been sitting or wearing heels. So you want to put one foot up on the mat, step the other foot forward, and you should feel a stretch in the back of your calf. Feels really good. And you want to hang out here for about 30 seconds to a minute. The entire warm-up sequence should take about 5 or 10 minutes to really get your joints and your soft tissues prepared to do the deep squat. So again, just hang out here for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then we're going to come back and do the other leg. You might find one leg's tighter than the other. And again, hang out here for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then after you've stretched your calf, you want to put both feet up on the yoga mat. If you have trouble with balance, you can always put something in front of you that you can hold on to. And then you want to start bending forward. What you want to do is not tuck your tailbone under while you're doing this. So you just want to bend forward. Your hamstrings might be really tight. These are your hamstrings here on the back of your thigh. If they're really tight, you may not get very far in this, but form is more important. We're just prepping the body for the squat right now. So again, you don't want to tuck this under, you don't want to start rounding your low back. You want to keep small curve in your low back. Not an exaggerated curve, not like that, but just the natural curve. You want to hang out here for about a minute, and then you come back up. And then we're going to take the yoga mat, and we're going to roll it out. And now we're going to come down on all fours. So important alignment for this is you want to have your wrists under your shoulders, your hands pointed straight ahead, your knees under your hips, and your toes pointing straight back. Really important to get good alignment on this one for the hips. And you want to tuck your toes under. You should feel a nice stretch in your feet. And then you want to start leaning back. You want to go as far back as you can without tucking your tail. So if you start to tuck your tail and round your back, you've gone too far. Come out of it and just hang out as far back as you can. So this is all you can do, that's fine. You want to work up to getting all the way back. And you don't want to splay your knees open, so keep everything in alignment in your lower body. We just want to hang out here for about a minute. Again, we're just prepping the body for the squat. And so after you've done that, then we're ready to do our squat. So you want to roll up the yoga mat. This is for a modification to take some pressure off the knee joint. So a lot of times our quads, which are the muscles in the front of our thigh, and our hip flexors are really tight because, again, we're spending our life sitting. And so that can put a lot of pressure on the knee joint. So I'm going to show you a modification that can help with that. So I'll do this from the side for you, and then I'll do it from the front. So for the squat, you want to start coming straight back. Again, do not tuck your tail under. So just like we did in the warm-up exercises. Now, if you lean too far forward, you're going to start to feel it in your quads and your shins. So lean back so you feel it in your booty. And if you don't make it very far, better to have good form. And what you can do, when you get deep enough, is if you want to pad the knee joint, you don't have to hold this here when you're going up and down, but just put it underneath your knees so that you can get a little deeper in the squat and protect those joints. I'll show you from the front. You want to make sure while you're doing the squat that your feet are just slightly outside of your hips and that your feet are pointed straight ahead. So don't turn your feet out. Keep them pointed straight ahead. Alignment is really important here. And you can, if you get towards the bottom of your squat and your calves are really tight, you can put this underneath. You don't have to roll it up all the way if you want a little bit less. But you can put your mat underneath your calf or a towel or something just to pad that. What you want to work toward is getting your feet, keeping your feet on the floor, so keeping your heel down, and getting your shins vertical. So this is your shin in the front of your lower leg bone here. You want that to stay vertical. So see, even I lean forward a little bit, there's a little bit of an angle. Eventually you get to a point where you can have it vertical. That's why I say this could take up to 2 years to really get that perfect squat. I'm not even there yet. So that is a deep squat. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to find out more about me or what I do, you can go to www.thevitalfamilychiro.com. Thank you.